3D.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, brother. Are we live or taping?
We're taping, yeah. And
Okay.
I'm going to edit the beginning so that it starts seamless and stuff. And,
Well, I've been edited before.
yeah.
It's no threat to me.
Maybe I won't. Just before we start, you know what? Let's start. I want to. This is Robert Platshorn, who I'm talking with, and I want Robert to read a little excerpt from your book, The Black Tuna Diaries. It was taken from the book. I bought this book off you, and I read it actually while I was on board a friend's 100-foot charter boat in Fort Myers. So it was a great read. That's it. So it was a great read, and I was in a great location. And I'm going to put a link so people can pick up this book because you have it still in softcover, right? It's available?
Yes.
Yes. I will put a link to that because what an incredible read. And just to let people know what we're going to be talking about soon, but we're going to talk about your Pitchman days first. But I want to read this. This is from the Black Tuna Diaries. This is a true account of the life of America's most written about marijuana smuggler. Between the accounts of his smuggling adventures, Robert tells his life story as a member of the South Street Gang, his years as an actor, a famous pitchman, a successful entrepreneur in American England, a bullfighter in Spain, a TV producer, a smuggling pilot, and a big game fisherman. And I want to scoot down to, so we can date this, on May the 1st, 1979, President Jimmy Carter's Attorney General, Griffin Bell, called a press conference in the nation's capital to announce the arrest and the indictment of the Black Tuna Gang, that's your gang, and Bell called the tunas the slickest, the most sophisticated pot smugglers of the 70s. Whoa. So that is going to be coming up, and that's such an incredible story, but it pales in comparison to the 29 years that you spent in federal prison for a non-violent crime. So let's save that story as a little teaser coming up. But first, Robert, again, thank you so much for taking this time to see me today.
Always a joy and a pleasure.
Well, Robert, you and I share one passion, which is pitching. So I want you to take me back to the first day you ever pitched. It was Atlantic City on the Boardwalk. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Tell me about that life and what was your first product? What was your first pitch? Take us through that.
All right. I'm in Atlantic City. I have graduated high school, and for the last year, I had been playing second male lead in an off-Broadway show, Tennessee Williams, which was made into a movie suddenly last summer with a Taylor. In any case, we were supposed to hit the road for the summer, play the summer theaters. And the first theater that was booked was on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. At the time, my mom had an old hotel on Virginia Avenue, the Clearfield. And living there were some of the great old pitchmen, Joe McGee, Maggie from London was living there.
Yes.
Jules Lasky. There was the whole Boardwalk crew was staying at my mom's hotel. And when I went to start rehearsals for Suddenly last summer, we got canceled out. Theater got closed. So now I'm at odds and ends, and I know I got to start making a living, putting away some money for college. And here's these pitchmen working on the Boardwalk, and they used to hang out in my mom's kitchen and drink coffee, and I'd listen to the stories. I'd see their paychecks.
Yes.
Now, this is like 1960, and their average paychecks are 5, 7, 800. When they go out on the airs and the shows, they're making 1,000 a week. This was huge money. This was like bigger than theater money that I could make acting. So I figured I could do that. And I presented myself, my 18-year-old self, at Pennsylvania in the Boardwalk. The Morris brothers had the store there facing out onto the Boardwalk. And they were pitching the Blender Queen liquefier. I had watched the pitch probably 24 times. And I went up and said, I can do this. And they say, hey, kid, you're too young. At the time, the blender was a $40 joint, $39.95. And you have to think of that in terms of the era, because down the street at St. James in the Boardwalk, they're pitching the Dial-O-Matic with the chopper. It was a $3 package at that time.
Yes.
And one hell of a package. Eventually they got it up to $5 and they really got well with it. But they were pitching that, and they were pitching the food knife was like a $2 touch. So going for $39.95 was almost unheard of in the pitch business. These guys were the elite. They could get $40 from a stranger standing out front. Anyway, I'm kind of memorized the pitch. And when I'm told Archie Morris, did you know Archie?
I knew of him back then. I didn't get in until 1979, but I knew the name Archie Morris and Arnold Morris, of course, and
Ruby Morris.
Ruby Morris, of course. Ruby I did meet, yes.
And they were all cousins to the Popeils.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
I present myself to Archie and said, I'm ready to go. I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. He said, all right, kid, you got the midnight pitch. Pitch. Boardwalk on a Friday or Saturday night. Back in the days when there were thousands of people out on the Boardwalk. And it was raucous. And by midnight, we're either drunk or on their way somewhere. Stopping a tip is hard enough. I don't remember if I valeted the tip or if Archie did. And then he owed the tip to me. He used to like to do that because he could get monster tips, even in the middle of the winter when there was nobody on the Boardwalk. Eventually, he became the tip man for the jam auction.
Yes.
In any case, they put me up on the Boardwalk at midnight. Anyway, I get up, make the midnight pitch, and the tip loves me. I think I might have turned one machine too, which was a miracle. And next thing I know, I'm on my way to the Allentown Fair to work with Joe McGee, the fiddling farmer from Tennessee. Did you know Joe?
No.
He was around your time. In fact,
again, a name I knew, but I never met him. Yeah.
Yeah, according to Billy, he's still around somewhere, still alive, Joe McGee. Wow. Ruby
Morris, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I go out and that was my initiation. I went from the Boardwalk to the Allentown Fair.